Seth is on his rogue Dimir deck. You see what I did? I switched it around because it's not really
I saw what you did.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the battlefield, it's Omnath Adventures, the deck that we've seen the most in the field here by quite a bit. As we come into the match, Paul, this is game number 3 between these two players in their decider.
Yeah, and to avoid any confusion, it looks like the player graphics should be switched, as Seth Manfield is the one on the Dimir Luris deck here, not Patrick Fernandes. Patrick Fernandes is the one with Lucky Clover and millions of lands on the battlefield, so it looks like things are going very well here for Patrick.
Right, double Clover. Remember how we've talked about it over the course of the tournament, how important Lucky Clover is, not just for the deck in general, but particularly against this blue-black Dimir deck from Seth Manfield, who has no way to get that Clover off the battlefield once it's resolved. And Patrick has 2.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez. We may be coming in for Patrick Fernandes upsetting Seth Manfield here to move on. This is a devastating stomp there to just completely wipe the board. The only hope here for Seth is that he does have 8 cards worth of card draw sitting in his hand off of 2 Into the Stories.
Yeah, but he's been stuck on 4 lands. Or I don't know if he's been stuck on 4 lands or if Patrick Fernandes was just doing Omnath Adventure things. But I mean, take a look at how many lands Patrick has in play. I mean, it seems to me that it's almost going to be impossible for him to lose from this position, just kind of coming into what happened. It looks like a Lucky Clover stuck early, followed by some Fertile Footsteps here, which really just made it so that Seth just wasn't able to answer Patrick's threats on a 1-for-1 basis, because Patrick now has mana to just deploy multiple threats in one turn.
Yeah, oftentimes you'll see this Dimir deck kind of stall out at 4 or 5. They generally have a lot of cheap interactive spells, and even the threats are cheap, so they don't need 9 or 10 mana to operate. But it is really going to be a bottleneck here for Seth, because Patrick, they basically have equivalents, right? Like, they get to play the same number of spells each turn. It's just that Patrick's cost like 4 and 5, and Seth's cost 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be casting 3 5-mana spells in a turn.
Yeah. Also, anytime Patrick just finds an adventure card, I mean, he's got a 3rd Clover in his hand, and now he's drawing 5 cards. He's playing his own Into the Story. That's 3 Edgewell Innkeepers, Fae of Wishes. I mean,
yeah.
This is just.
Yeah, those Fae of Wishes, those are similar to what we saw earlier this round with Austin. Those are probably going to be Patrick Fernandes picking up the victory here. With this much mana available and the double Clovers, Fae of Wishes are draw 3s, and you get to choose them, and they're cards that you specifically put in your sideboard for given matchups. It's really, really difficult to overcome this stage of the game for Omnath Adventures. You just can't let them get to this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what makes this core just so powerful. It's got 8 permanents, right? 4 Lucky Clover, 4 Edgewell Innkeepers that all just allow you to just keep generating value just by themselves, right? You have an Edgewell Innkeeper in play. You play anything, all your cards replace themselves, right? You go on any adventure, you double down on the adventure. Also to note, any adventure card is already a built-in 2-for-1. So if this game just kind of goes to the long game, you're just never run out of things to do, just based off of the fact that you have so many cards that allow you to replace itself.
Boy, and Patrick is, this is going to get embarrassing. I mean, triple Lucky Clover, currently 2 Edgewell Innkeeper on the battlefield, but there's another one in the Exile Zone too. Oh, and a Mystical Dispute, but a dispute back here for Manfield. I mentioned the cheap interactive cards. The problem is that the end result of this is just more cards going into hand here for Seth, but it doesn't seem like any of them actually matter.
Yeah, and I believe Patrick Fernandes is playing with Fling, so he might. Okay, no, never. Yeah. Okay. Does he have an Embercleave? No, Primal Might. Primal Might for effectively a Fireball here. Oh,
and
look
there's
at
the
this.
And that's the 1-2 punch that will get the job done. You can Primal Might, attack for
and
a
then
bunch.
Fling.
And it's a good game from Seth Manfield as well. Wow, Patrick Fernandes with kind of a chuckle when that interview we saw before the match about having to face down Seth. And it looks like he is going to beat the Hall of Famer, the former world champ, the Pro Tour champion, and knock him out here. What a victory for Patrick Fernandes. A huge win for him. He can finish things off
Style
with
points.
a fling, and you got to go for the bone crusher there.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, that's going to finish it. Patrick Fernandes defeats Seth Manfield and advances in the tournament, knocking Seth out. What a win for Patrick. Incredible stuff from him.